Okay, this little lesson here, part of the bridging course, is one that will help you just solo over a one-chord blues. A lot of people are surprised when they are aware that you can even have a tune that's only got one chord in it. And I think the main reason for that is because the really good composers that write these one-chord tunes put so much variation, repetition in them in other ways that you don't realise you're just bumming along on the one chord. So we need to learn, and it's a really good thing for your playing, to find ways in which you can repeat and vary, create tension, resolve it, have an interesting piece of music with really quite significant restriction, and that is we're not going to let you change chords. Now we're at a major advantage in that quest, because we've got a 3-string cigar box guitar and we can play a slide, and our skills are up with our right hand, whether you're finger picking or flat picking. Because this instrument, this is a riffing machine. Like, you got one chord going, straight away, and you're not going to do that for too long. You'll do something else, but then you'll come back to that, because that's cool. For now, I'll just play that. And when we get into the improvising section of the course where you're doing all your theory, then we'll worry about how that works. But for now, just play it. What have I done? I've made a sound. I've left a gap. That's really important. If we count the bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Half the bar is silent. The first half has got something in it, the second bar doesn't. Call response. If you're going to have a response, you need to create a space for that response to happen. Call response happens right throughout the blues, when we look at structure, when we look at everything. So one way that you can use call response and make your one-chord tunes interesting is to leave a space. That gives you somewhere to go. For example, so space, and then you can fill in the space. If we talk about call response, you've got two different voices. You've got one person, one entity, one sound over here making a noise, and then another one responding to it. If they're in a different register, that's one way, then that becomes more obvious that it's call response. So one way to make it to take advantage of this aspect of the blues is to make a call, leave a space, and then respond in a different register. Okay, what was I doing there? It's pretty obvious. I was playing that riff and responding to it in different places. The call was the same every time. The response varied. Then we start to move on from that. But we take advantage of that funky riff that we opened with. We take advantage of the fact that we know what's going on there now. The listener knows what's going on there now. Your ear remember, ear is the most important thing here. Your ear has established that connection between the sound that you hear, maybe your brain somewhere, you've established a connection between the sound and that movement in that position, that visual image that you see, everything about that action physically, you've established that connection between that and that sound that you want to hear. Likewise there. So you won't need to do anything to make that happen, it just happens automatically, right? So, but by repeating it a few times, it becomes established. Then you sort of just come back to it without even knowing that you're doing it. If you're really into it. You know. One of the fantastic things about this 3-string cigar box guitar is that you can do that, what I just said, real easily. You've got this third position here that's got that note and that note, same thing, an octave down, that just riff so well with the open string. That's one way of doing it. So as an exercise, what you can do is make up as many different riffs with as many different rhythms as you can, just with those two notes. Yeah? Maybe stop the video now, go and have a go at that. Yeah? Cool. You back? All right. The next part of your exercise is I want you to use the middle string in that same position. Now that's a different note, it's not the same note as that, that's the minor third, that's the flat 7. But this note here wants to move back down that way from a high position down to a low position. This one is one note in the scale lower than our tonic, right? That's the same note as the open there. So now we've got 3 notes all next to each other in the scale, well, not next to each other, but sequentially in the scale, with the tonic note in the middle, so it's like the peak part of the triangle. Okay, so let's have a look at a triangle. You've got your tonic at the top, your flat 7 blues note here, tonic connects to the tonic. Minor third blues note here, connects to the tonic. Right? At the bottom, we've got tension, that's your blues stuff down there. You can connect those two as well. Let's try that. That was a little bit too long, I was illustrating a point, right? Bop, 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 okay? Bop, 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 bop. What was our initial riff? So I'm just doing the same thing, but this time using the flat 7. Bop, bop. Yeah, up that way, with that triangle. So go away and practice that now. Just play around with a few riffs, get some variations on that. Okay, you're back? Cool. The next thing that we want to do is add another note. Okay, now this time I want you to add, again on all 3 strings, the note 1 semitone behind it. Now, if you've got frets, that's easy, it's just the 2nd fret. If you don't, you'll need to find the spot that's not on a marker in which you can do that sounds like a chromatic movement. If you can, if you have a guitar tuner, you can use your tuner to find the 2nd note of the scale there. So if you tune to G, the 2nd note is A. If you tune to F, the 2nd note is G. If you tune to B flat, the 2nd note is C. Yeah, if you tune to D, the 2nd note is A, B, C, D, E. So that note there. Now, if you're tuned up properly, the same position there will do a similar sort of thing, resolving this way. Right? So now there's another note, that 5 in the open note. Right? So now we're adding those two and that one. lot more funky now. But I want you to still base it around this connection between here and here, and only use these two when you're connecting either this way or this way. Yeah? After a little while, you'll find that you want to go a little further. Don't do it just yet. Just stick with that just for the sake of the exercise. Then, when you've done that, I want you to add that note up there on the 5th fret. Again, in all three positions. Okay, so. That type of thing. Keep it simple to start with. Remember all the stuff that we looked at the start of the tune. And all the stuff that we looked at previously about rhythmic phrasing, rhythmic placement of your notes. Okay, so this is starting to look more at your improvising skills, starting to get you more into this mode of making stuff up. And hopefully it will whet your appetite and prepare your ear for some of the heavier stuff later on.